Typhoon Bavi made landfall along China's eastern coast late on July 11th and early on July 12th, becoming one of the strongest typhoons to strike the country so far this year. The powerful storm brought destructive winds, intense rainfall, and dangerous coastal conditions, forcing large-scale evacuations, disrupting transportation networks, and placing millions of residents across eastern China on high alert. The typhoon reached China's coastline after sweeping through parts of the western Pacific, affecting Japan's southern islands and passing near Taiwan before moving toward the mainland. As Bavi approached the coast, Chinese authorities activated emergency response measures, closed vulnerable coastal areas, suspended transportation services, and relocated residents from high-risk regions in preparation for the storm's arrival. According to meteorological authorities, Typhoon Bavi made landfall in Ju Jang province, one of China's most populated coastal regions. The storm brought maximum sustained winds of around 144 kilometers per hour, with powerful gusts affecting coastal communities.
Although
Bavi gradually weakened after moving inland, weather officials warned that the storm's large circulation continued to carry significant moisture, creating a serious threat of prolonged heavy rainfall across multiple provinces. Before the typhoon arrived, Ju Jang province launched one of the largest evacuation operations of the year. More than 1.7 million residents were moved away from areas considered vulnerable to flooding, storm surges, landslides, and strong winds. Other regions, including Shanghai and Fujian province, also carried out emergency preparations, relocated residents from dangerous areas, and placed rescue teams on standby. Authorities warned that the biggest threat from Typhoon Bavi could come not only from strong winds but also from widespread rainfall. As the storm moved inland, its outer rain bands continued affecting a broad area. Heavy rainfall raised concerns over flash floods, urban waterlogging, river rises, and landslides, especially in mountainous and low-lying regions. In coastal areas of Ju Jang, residents experienced powerful winds and rough seas as the typhoon approached. Large waves struck shorelines, while emergency workers monitored coastal defenses, flood control facilities, and critical infrastructure. Fishing vessels were ordered to return to port, and maritime activities were suspended in several areas to prevent accidents caused by dangerous sea conditions. The storm also caused widespread disruption to transportation. Airlines across eastern China canceled or adjusted hundreds of flights as strong winds and heavy rain affected airport operations. Railway authorities suspended or reduced services on some routes, while ferry operations and coastal shipping were temporarily halted. Schools and outdoor activities in several affected regions were also suspended as authorities prioritized public safety. Shanghai, one of China's largest cities, also took precautionary measures as Bavi approached. Authorities moved thousands of residents from vulnerable locations and prepared emergency response teams to deal with possible flooding and wind damage. The city's transportation and public services were closely monitored as officials warned residents to avoid unnecessary travel during the height of the storm. Meteorologists emphasized that large tropical systems, such as Bavi, can continue producing dangerous weather even after making landfall. While wind speeds typically decrease once a typhoon moves over land, the remaining circulation can still transport large amounts of moisture and trigger prolonged rainfall far from the original landfall location. As Typhoon Bavi weakened inland, weather authorities continued monitoring its movement and warned that rainfall impacts could persist for several days. Regions farther inland remained at risk of flooding as rivers responded to additional rainfall and soil conditions became increasingly saturated. Emergency management agencies across affected provinces continued inspecting reservoirs, rivers, drainage systems, and transportation infrastructure. Rescue teams, firefighters, medical personnel, and disaster response workers remained on standby to respond to potential emergencies, including flooding, landslides, road damage, and power disruptions. Authorities urged residents to remain cautious, avoid rivers, coastal areas, mountainous slopes, and flooded roads, and continue following official weather updates. Officials also reminded the public that dangerous conditions can remain even after the strongest winds have passed, particularly in areas experiencing continuous rainfall. Typhoon Bavi is the latest in a series of severe weather events affecting parts of Asia this summer, highlighting the growing challenges posed by extreme weather conditions. While the storm's intensity is expected to gradually decline, recovery and damage assessment efforts are expected to continue as affected communities begin responding to the aftermath. As of the latest updates, Chinese authorities have focused primarily on evacuation efforts, emergency preparations, and protecting critical infrastructure. A nationwide assessment of casualties and economic losses has not yet been fully released, with local officials expected to provide additional information as inspections and recovery operations continue.
满地苍蝇，还好没有什么大的事情了。看，我的车停在这里，没有被树砸到，还好。哎呀。